If you've got a plain one,
yeah, definitely. So with this bus showing how high it is, definitely shows how big Eddie is. So
driver, I take. Yesterday. I got married in 1994. That's the first show in 1995. Second in 1995.
That's beside the point, I suppose. It was in 1954 when I was merely 4 years old and beginning to take an avid interest in buses. I have fond memories of that age of sitting upstairs on double-decker buses, facing the other way to what I'm facing now, holding this grab rail and pretending to drive the bus for many miles. I did progress from that to actually driving buses later in life, and I got my bus driver's license, so I don't have to pretend anymore. So anyway, in 1954, they wanted a bus in London to replace the last of the trolley buses, or a major trolley bus replacement. They had a large number of the famous RT buses in London, but they wanted something a bit more up to date than the RT, so they designed the RM. And in 1954, 4 prototypes took to the road, and as they say, the rest is history. So for its time in 1954, it was quite advanced. It didn't have a chassis. It had 2 subframes for the running units, front and back. It had independent suspension all round. It had a semi-automatic gearbox, again rather advanced for the early 1950s. Anyway, every 5 years the bodies were removed, as indeed they had been with the RTs, and the body was given a full overhaul. Everything was taken apart, worn bits were replaced and so on. But there was never a guarantee, in fact it was very rare, that the body would meet up with the subframes it originally had. As indeed with the RTs. RTs very rarely remated the bodies and the chassis. So anyway, the last Routemaster ran in public service in London on the 9th of December 2005 on Route 159. Such was the overwhelming turnout to say goodbye to the last Routemaster in service that the police had to put a very strong presence on the streets of London, and the police presence was 4 times greater than they now put out when royalty's out and about in London. So you can imagine just how many people were out for that last run. However, the last bus was only 10 minutes late turning into the depot for its final run. There was a heritage service that continued to run for some years, but that came to an end as well. The majority of the Routemasters were sold off. They were sold off mostly through Ensign the well-known bus dealers down in Purfleet, who recently were bought out by First Group. Ooh, sorry, shouldn't mention First Group working for Stagecoach, should I? Our arch enemies, but never mind. It's a fact that First Group bought Ensign Bus, who sold many of the Routemasters, and in fact did indeed deal with every single sale of the old DMS London class. Anyway, there were 2,760 Routemasters in all that were built, and despite its retirement in 2005, the Routemaster has remained an iconic British institution. This particular vehicle, RML 2738, was first registered in November 1967. The chassis or subframes, it hasn't strictly got a chassis, were built by AEC. The body is built by Park Royal, and the engine is the Scania D9, which has been retrofitted. Many of the Routemasters in their later lives had their original AEC or Leyland engines replaced by Volvo, Scania engines in their place. The fuel used by this bus is diesel, and the top speed of this bus, downhill with a very good wind behind it, is a giddy 47 miles per hour. So anyway, this particular vehicle was newly delivered to Alderham Works in November 1967. It entered service at Southall Depot in 1968, transferred to Leighton Depot in 1971, on to Stockwell Depot in 1975. It had its Scania engine fitted in 1992, and then it was transferred in 1997 to East London Buses, which is one of our Stagecoach subsidiaries in London. It was withdrawn from service in 2004, and for the following 8 years it was mothballed at our West Ham depot, literally growing cobwebs galore. Then in 2012, Stagecoach Group at Perth took the decision that all the Routemasters at West Ham that were mothballed would be offered for sale to their provincial operating companies. And Stagecoach Midlands put in a bid, and they bought this one. It transferred in November 2012 to Rugby Depot, where for the next 2 years our apprentices in the engineering department at Rugby Depot gave up all their own time to voluntarily return this vehicle to the state you see it in today. So I do hope you enjoy the weekend. If you enjoy your ride around today, come again tomorrow. If you don't enjoy yourselves today, do come tomorrow. You might enjoy it better the second day. Thank you for listening. Oh, and don't forget, I shall be shaking the donation button.